That's cool. Okay. Get you, but not the kitchen. Just a little bit. All righty. Bless up, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the live that we're having on YouTube. I hope everybody can hear me.
Greetings.
If you could put a 1 in the chat, let us know that you could hear us and everything's good in this transmission. My name is Makai, the pharmacist.
I'm Dr. Cynthia Hall. Good evening. Good to see y'all.
We're Free Haven Farms. I know more people are going to come in as we move along, so I just want to get started right away though, because we don't have much time. We're busy on the farm this time of year, and Cynthia is back to professing at the university as well as building a farm at the university right now. So we're really active. But we wanted to make time to come on this live right now so that we could discuss a few things. All right. Before we even get started, we like to always give honor and respect and remembrance to our ancestors. In particular, we have one that we hold very dear here at Free Haven Farms, that being a man by the name of George Washington Carver. We'll go into more detail about that in another time. But in the book that we wrote, Pharmacology, there's a section that's dedicated to George Washington Carver. So I just want to start our conversation with a quote from him that we always go over these quotes, man. They're very inspiring. He said, "Start where you are with what you have, make something of it, and never be satisfied." It's pretty simple. So, in terms of growing food and starting your garden, um, going down new paths, it's okay if you're nervous. It's okay if a little apprehensive, but know that you have the ability to do it, and you have to just start. Lots of times you just got to start with what you have and do the best you can, just like he said, and go from there, grow from there.
That's right.
But so just a little backstory about who we are and why we're doing what we do, and then we're gonna get right into it. Want to give them a little history?
Sure. Yes. All right. So I'm Dr. Cynthia Hall, and I'm originally from Lawnside, New Jersey, which is a town where our farm is located. It's a very historic town, being settled by African Americans and named originally Free Haven. So that is the name that inspired our farm when we, purchased our land and wanted to start a movement. We were inspired by, the land on which we were starting this farm and, my ancestors in particular that came there. But um, moving forward, though, I, from Lawnside, like I said, I studied chemistry and at Howard University and then geochemistry. So I've studied the soil in a lot of different environments from, the ocean to the cities. And so I've looked at a lot of different aspects of the chemistry of the soil because that's what my specialty is. And I've studied nutrients. So, in particular, nitrogen, which is a very important nutrient for plant growth. That's what I studied in graduate school. And then as a professor, I've studied the contaminants. So you really have to know about the makeup of your soil in order to understand what your plants need in that environment, whether the good nutrients or we want to exclude the bad contaminants. So that's my background, and what I brought to Free Haven Farms. In terms of growing, I started growing really when we started our family. That was my introduction to gardening, and that was 20 years ago, but we started our first garden about 18 years ago. So yeah, that's how long I've been growing food. And again, just starting with very little hands-on knowledge about gardening, but I came at it from a scientific perspective. But that is what I will share with y'all during this Grow Your Own Academy, is just the science of the soil, the plant science, and then just a lot of the, class, a lot of the environmental science, all of the things that are going to help you support your plant, whether it's learning about the climate, learning about other types of contamination that might affect your plants, and just being outdoors in nature.
Yeah, solid, solid. So, like I said, y'all know me as Micaiah, the pharmacist. My name is Micaiah. I was born in Connecticut. That's where I started to grow food. I started with a garden from day one, as far as I can remember. There's always been a garden in the backyard. I come from a big family. Yeah, 6 children. My mother raised 2 of her half sisters. There's 8 kids in the house at any given time. And my father had a garden because his father had a garden. And so in my tribe, it's been generational knowledge. As far back as I can go to remembering my grandfathers, there's always been a garden there. And so I learned how to grow collard greens. I learned how to, nitrate the soil and all types of other things as chores that I had to do when I came home from school, whether I wanted to or not. And so the seed was planted, and I probably resisted it for a period of time. But as I got a little bit older, I really started to love what I was doing, especially when I started to make some money. So when I was 12, I started to work on a farm as a summer job. It's a common thing back in the day. I was born in the 70s, so I know I'm from another generation in terms of summer jobs, working with your hands and just kind of getting grimy with it. But yeah, I used to work on a farm when I was 12 years old up until 18, and that's where I learned how to save money, and that's where I learned how to do a lot of the things that I now do on our farm. And yeah, it's given me experience, and come to find out, experience is priceless.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go to school and you can get your degrees, and you can pay for a lot of things you could buy, but experience is just that one thing you can't buy. You have to earn that. And so what we're doing is sharing our experience with you. Um, that was my backstory, but when we got together in Atlanta 20 years ago, like Cynthia was saying, we started growing food in the backyard right away. And then when we moved to different cities, we lived in Philadelphia. Eventually, we were able to move to where we are now in New Jersey. But no matter where we lived, we always grew our own food. All right. So when people tell me that they can't do it because they live in the city, they don't have a yard, they got bad soil, they're in an apartment, yada yada yada. I tell them all the time, you can, because we've done it.
Mm-hmm.
We've done it when we lived in a row house. We've done it when we didn't have any yard at all. We've done it when we were in an apartment. Where there's a will, there's a way. And that's why I read that quote from George Washington Carver at the onset, because that was our mindset. We're just going to take our tools and do the best we can with what we have at this time. But one thing's for sure, and 2 things for certain: we're gonna grow this food.
That's right. Yeah, so we've been really committed. Again, Micaiah kind of led the way, and just the idea of growing food was very new. So, I definitely encourage y'all to just get out there and try. Like Micaiah said, learning it in school is one thing because I understood the science behind it. I understood photosynthesis and all about soil science, but I had never grown food before until we got a garden in our backyard. And again, we started very small with just a couple of rows. You know, we lived right in Atlanta in the city. We had a little backyard, and we started from there, and then it just continued. Um, but there's no experience like hands-on experience, like doing it. So this is what we're trying to equip y'all with this class, or not with this class, with this academy, because we're going to have a lot of different classes that will help to support your learning and ultimately your growing. But the most important thing that you can do as you're taking the class is to implement what you know. All right, so not just learning it but doing it. And so we're starting a class and a school, but we're really building a community. And so that's part of what we're doing on the live today. And what we're going to infuse in our academy is this learning community where you'll get to learn from each other, share information, share knowledge, stories, because that helps us, in our growing process.
Yeah. So we saw that when we started to do this work, one of the first ways that we used to distribute the food that we made, that we grew, we made into bundles and we sold at the farmers market.
Mm-hmm.
So the farmers market was one of the first places that we ever sold our food. And it was at our farmers market that we interacted the most with our community, with our neighborhood, with our tribe. And we heard, we heard what people were saying, you know what I'm saying? And the people that would talk to us lots of times would want to know more than they wanted to even buy. A lot of people want to know how to grow their own collard greens, how to grow their own peppers, how to grow their own tomatoes. Folks want to know what's the good thing for my high blood pressure. What should I be eating if I'm dealing with diabetes? How should I be trying to keep healthy? And all of it's connected. And so we realized that really our work now wasn't so much to grow food, but to grow growers. You understand? And to pass the knowledge, because look, man, I can grow this food, like I say, have a farmer's market and sell you some vegetables. I might even give you some fruit, but I just feed you for the day, just like a fish, right? But if I teach you how to grow, I could feed you for life. And then you could pass that information. You see what I'm saying? And that's how we keep empowering not just each other, but everything that's around us, our communities, our environment, our ecosystem, the planet. It's all connected. It's a trickle down effect. So I can go on because I'm enthusiastic and passionate about this. And for us, it's changed our lives. You know what I'm saying? I could speak a lot of personal experiences, which I will. So the reason why we're coming together with this class is to introduce the launch of our new program, our new school. I want to call it a program. It's our new school. All right. It's the Grow Your Own Academy. For years, we've done the Grow Your Own Club. Some of y'all might have been in the Grow Your Own Club, been a part of it, been in some of those conversations, learned some of those lessons. But things have really evolved since we first started to do that. And they've scaled, they've grown. Because we're watering it.
That's right.
And we're working it. So now we have the launch of our Grow Your Own Academy that is going to have those weekly discussions like we used to do in the Grow Your Own Club. We're still going to have those weekly discussions where we're going to have question and answer conversation. We're going to be able to hear what it is that you want to learn. We're going to hear about your problems, your obstacles. We're going to come up with solutions together. That's going to happen every week. And the Grow Your Own Club, we used to also cover a lot of current events. So that weekly conversation that we have, we also going to be on top of what's happening right now. This is why it's imperative that we in this academy, because everything in the food system is moving really, really fast right now. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of things going on that we have to pay attention to because they affect us. This is stuff that we put in our body and it affects us in every way. You know what I'm saying? You want to add to that? I was going to break down something.
Yeah. So, when we're talking about growing food, again, the most important thing is what you like to eat. So someone asked, will the same science apply for Southern states? Absolutely, because the science is the science. So we really get into the lessons, but how you apply it is really going to be tailored to each person's experience. And so, again, creating this community is going to help us to, cultivate this knowledge sharing that we're going to experience together. Um, Taking the Grow Your Own Club to the next level. The information, the classes, they'll be at your own pace. All right. So there was a lot of information we used to put in those lives. And, sometimes it was really fast, sometimes it was too slow for people. Everyone learns at different paces. So that's one thing that we're adding to the Grow Your Own Academy is that the content knowledge that you're going to get, the classes will be at your own pace. When we come together weekly for our live, we're going to have discussions, again, more question and answer. There's going to be a lot more information because people ask us very specific questions and the answer sometimes turns into a whole class. So over the years that we've been doing the Grow Your Own Club, we've essentially built a whole curriculum. That's why we've decided to start a school, because we have a school worth of knowledge already that we've taught through many different classes. Again, there's people that have been rocking out with this since, the start of the pandemic. That's when we took all these classes and workshops that we used to teach online. And so a lot of the questions that we get, can I grow food in an apartment? Yes, we have an apartment gardening class. Can I grow food? If I don't have soil, yes, there's a raised bed class. There's the indoor growing class. There's a class about soil science. There's a class about, anything that you can imagine. And when you're a part of our community, you'll get to also give recommendations and suggestions for classes. One thing that Makai has been really passionate about and that he's really done for us, turning our gardening in our backyard for our family into not just a business, but a successful business. And so Makai has been all about monetizing the land. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, like Cynthia said, we're gonna have these different modules, you know what I'm saying, within the university that we're gonna cover specific topics. But we've really thought this thing all the way out of because of our own journey.
Mm-hmm.
And then teaching it so long to people, we know what people need to what they want to learn about, what they're challenged with. We get it, you know what I'm saying? And so, people are like, yo, I don't have enough time. You know what I'm saying? I'm busy. I work. I want to have a garden. I don't have any time. So we're going to figure out and break down how you can schedule to have a garden that actually fits into your lifestyle. Right? If you don't have a lot of time, you might need to have some systems that are automated, you know what I'm saying, set up in your garden. There's options. We're gonna break down a lot of the different options. Listen, guys, before we even get into that, we need to understand that there's a real need for this right now. All right. Um, there's a real need right now. Someone's asking me about a farm number. We're gonna get into that in detail in the class. Like I said at the onset, do the best you can with the tools that you have right now. Remember that. Remember that quote from George Washington Carver. Because you're gonna go on this journey, you're gonna come up on things and you're gonna feel like, I can't do it because I don't have. No, you can. So whether you got a number or not, all right, we're gonna grow this food.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna break down some of the pros and cons to having a number, or if you even that even needs to be a conversation, something you're worried about. But we're gonna get into it for sure. Um, but the thing that we need to watch right now is some of the real food concerns that affect all of us. This is why we even have so much interest on our page, so much activity, people sharing our videos, because we all have the same food concerns right now. All right. The food concerns being price. All right. People are concerned about the inflation of the cost of food, the way food has gone in price from 20 years ago to what it is now to what it's projected to be. The price of organic versus conventional, the price is a conversation. All right. And it's gonna be a bigger conversation because there's so much food assistance programs that are affected right now. You understand? And there's so much that's being affected with people's employment, and even with the cost, it's glitching. All right. And even with the cost of importation and shipment of food, all those things affect the food chain, which affect the cost. Okay. So this is something that people are concerned about. This is why we have more people growing food and having gardens than ever before right now, honestly. The quality of food. There's more recalls right now than ever before. All right. There's a high number of food recalls um, in our food system. You need to go to the online, and you could look up any of your food recalls. I think it's on the CDC. Is it on the CDC website?
FDA.
FDA. It is the FDA. The Food Drug and Administration, the FDA website. They have all the food recalls for the year and what the current ones are. And you would it'll blow your mind to see how many times lettuce gets recalled. Just so many things. I'm not even going to get into it. We're going to talk about it, but this is why people are growing their food right now. Integrity. Like it has an organic sticker on it, but is it really organic? How you know if it's really organic? You know what I'm saying? Just some of the challenges that go with being a consumer to food right now. You know what I'm saying? The integrity, is it really non-GMO? Is you know, it's a question about the integrity of your food, and then access. Access to food is something that's like it's going to be more and more of an issue. It's an issue right now, but it's going to be more and more of an issue in days to come. Because look, we all have seen it. We've seen a snowstorm come, and the threat of a snowstorm or a hurricane or something, and the shelves in the grocery store are empty in a day. You know what I'm saying? And access to food could be affected like that. And so these are all concerns and why more people are growing food than ever before. But anytime there's a problem, there's a solution. So we don't even focus on the problem too tough. We focus in on the solutions. Right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like you said, there's so many things, even beyond just what the grocery store issues. When it comes to your own personal preferences, right? Sometimes you can't find the particular variety that you like. It's not available in the store where you shop. It's not available all year round. It's not available in your region even. And so sometimes the solution is to be able to grow your own, right? Like Micaiah said, we're not sure exactly what is in our food. We don't know if it's going to be organic, but the only way to be sure is when you grow it yourself. You know exactly what that food has been through, what that plant has been through, what you've exposed it to, etc. And there's just a certain amount of comfort that you have in growing your own food that you really can't get anywhere else. Even getting organic, right? Sometimes that's the best we can do, but when you start growing your own food, you realize this is way better than what I can get in the grocery store.
Yeah, there's levels to it, man. There's definitely levels to it. Um, you know, when I speak about the integrity of the food, these are things that, like, I made a post the other day talking about the nutrient content, how much it's declined since the 1950s. You know, the USDA does an ongoing research and study and documents the nutrition level of different fruits, vegetables that are sold. This has been going on for a very long time. But anyways, from the 50s to now, you're talking about eating about 6 oranges to equal the same nutritional value of one orange back in 1950. And that's not that long ago. All right. So when you look at the decline of nutrients, there's a backstory to that. That's why it's important for us to have these conversations and to understand the science of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the science of it goes back to the soil science. It goes back to the life in the soil. So this isn't one dimensional learning. This is 360 degrees. We're learning the whole, you're going to learn the whole thing. We're not just, it's, and a lot of times people ask me, well, how do you get your plants so healthy? It's not one thing. It's a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Not just the plants, the life in the soil. It's the entire ecosystem, the life in the ecosystem. So these classes are gonna give us an education, not just on plants, but you learning about nature, which is something that we need to learn more of.
Absolutely.
All right. Now understand. I made some of the benefits that come with growing this food. If you're on the fence about it, or if you just some things that maybe you haven't thought of, it's going to reduce your grocery bill. I promise you, if you eat organic, especially, it's going to reduce your grocery bill. Especially if you're just focusing on the things that you eat the most.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If you buy, let's say, kale, let's say you buy kale every week. You know what I'm saying? You feed in your family kale, you use the kale for juicing, you use it for, you cook it, you saute it, you eat it raw, you use a lot of kale every week, you and your family. If you just grew kale, you know what I'm saying, and you buying this organic, you know what I'm saying, you know the price of kale. Like if you buying 10 bunches a week, you know what I'm saying, if you're using it like that, if you grew that and just took that off your grocery bill, you're going to greatly reduce how much money you're spending on your groceries every year. We did this. We used to go back in the day when we first got married. We used to go to Whole Foods and call it whole check, because we would spend a whole check trying to buy organic food and be healthy. And that was part of the reason that I was like, nah, man, we gotta save some money. We gonna grow all this food. And we got in the backyard and started growing. So it's definitely going to reduce your grocery bill, right? Especially if you focus on the things that you're trying to eat. All right, and you're growing healthy. It's gonna ensure the quality. All right, so this food isn't gonna get salmonella and any coli and listeria and all the things that is on vegetables, you know what I'm saying, and fruit, and being recalled. Even organic labeled fruit is getting recalled for stuff like listeria. This is a fact. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to scare you, I'm just trying to give you the facts. You know what I'm saying? But when you growing your own food, you watching it. You know how the food is coming. And then we're gonna give you guys information on the proper way to harvest and store your food to ensure that its safety and its quality stays at the top. Because there's science to that too. Can't just do it. All right. Um, the other thing is that boom, you got more variety when you grow your own food. So that's another reason why we started growing. There's a lot of stuff that we like to eat that you can't find in the grocery store, or if you can't find it, you can't find the organic version.
Right. Or it's not there for, it's only in the store for a couple of weeks.
Right.
You can only find it, like you said, it's not organic, it's pre-packaged, right? Like all these things that I can't stand. You trying to get okra, it's all, the quality is not good. There's just a lot of things that we wanted to eat that we couldn't find in the store.
Yeah. So, okra, we used to, I don't know if you can't find organic okra. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's really hard to find.
Swiss chard, we like Swiss chard. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to find Swiss chard, organic Swiss chard. Little things, man. My
And
peppers.
about to say the variety.
Peppers, hot peppers. You know, it's not hot enough, the ones they sell. I like hot peppers.
And
So
even the bell peppers, you know, you got the yellow and the orange
right.
ones. Those things are so expensive when they do have them in the store. And I'm talking about, we grow peppers, not just the yellow and the orange. We've grown purple peppers. We've grown, you know, the peppers that are like a chocolate color. I've never even seen those in a grocery store. I've never seen a grocery store sell
So
purple peppers. So this is what I'm saying. The variety that you can produce on your own is like the sky's the limit.
because they only give us a few varieties. You gotta know that in the store, like what they show to us and what they have us, what they sell to us is that it's only a few varieties. You know what I'm saying? Then you look and you see there's hundreds of varieties of tomatoes,
Right.
but they only sell you one or two. You feel
Mhm.
me? There's hundreds of varieties of peppers, hot peppers, sweet peppers, hundreds. You know what I'm saying? Kale. There's like 6 varieties of kale that I could throw in the ground right now, but you probably only eat one. You know what I'm saying? So um there's a lot of variety out there. When you grow your own, you're gonna start exposing yourself to that. You see what I'm saying? You have the ability to. The nutrition, we already talked about the nutrition
Mhm.
and how the decline of nutrition has happened. Now, when you are the one growing your own food and you're doing everything from the beginning, even building your soil, you can make sure that your soil is going to be feeding your plants and that you got a higher level of nutrition in the food that you're growing than what you're buying in the store. And so now we're talking about, like, you know, the science of using food as medicine. So this is food that is more potent, is more powerful, it's more healing if you're using it as medicine, when you know, when you're growing it and it has the proper amount of nutrients in it, what it's
Mhm.
supposed to have, or even more maybe if
Yeah.
if you're doing it the right way. So I mean, these are invaluable benefits that come with growing your food. And then obviously, you know, little things. The way that we grow food is called regenerative agriculture or sustainable agriculture. So we actually build up our entire ecosystem. We repair the environment. We repair planet Earth with the way that we grow our food.
Mhm.
The way that conventional farming is done destroys planet Earth, literally. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the most destructive things that's done to our environment is conventional farming practices. So we reverse that cycle. We do our part to be
Mhm.
stewards of the earth because we know that our grandchildren, our great grandchildren, our next to come, our kin to come are gonna inherit this. So like we gotta do our part. That happens when you grow it the right way. You feel
That's
me?
right.
And then of course, you know, you get in the sun. It's vitamin D. You grounding. You put your hands in the soil. You got your, you know, your feet. There's a lot of therapy that comes with being outside, man.
Mhm.
Just, you know, being in your meditation.
Yeah. Now
Mhm.
the fresh air, you know, like Micaiah said, just being outside. So many of us are cooped up in buildings all day. You go from your house to, you know, your car, to your building where you work. You're inside most of the day. Many of us don't get enough fresh air. Um, and you know, we suffer because of it. There are so many negative aspects about working, from sitting down to the recycled air. I could go on and on. So it's a blessing for us to be able to have a job that requires us to be outside most of the year. So it's like a built-in benefit. But um, you know, when we were working more indoors, it would be okay after work. You get a couple of hours to be outside, and it just, even if it's just 20 minutes, y'all, and that's some of what we're going to break down in the classes in terms of time management, is that you don't have to spend hours and hours every single day. If you have a couple hours maybe on the weekend, that's cool, but sometimes it's 20 minutes. But that extra time we spend outside is so good for us.
It's a digital detox, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We in a we in a time right now that we have to have periods of digital detox. You gotta like put the phone down, get off of the screen, and get in nature. And when you got your garden, it allows you to do that. and get in your meditation, get in your thoughts, put the phone down, and detox from the digital things that we have to do to live life right now, right? So those are just some of the benefits that we know for sure that come with growing food. We've experienced them, and then when we get into this class, we're gonna have, um, like I said, lessons that's gonna break down all of the aspects of growing your food. So, for instance, we're gonna talk about different growth systems. So, first is knowledge is power. So people need to be able to make informed decisions. Lots of times, folks don't know how they want to grow their food because they don't even know all the different ways that they can grow food.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know, like, yo, in an apartment, you good money. You could have a grow tent and some grow lights. You know what I'm saying? You could have a soil system in that grow tent and still grow your food out of nutritious soil indoors. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You could grow it hydroponically. You could have a soilless system. You see what I'm saying? You could do it aquaponically. What's that? So it's about informing yourself so you can make informed decisions about what growth system you even want to have. You might want to go with some conventional container gardens. That's still one of my favorite ways to grow food is in container gardens and raised beds, man. I use raised beds to this day. Of course, planting in ground, all this stuff is things that we're going to cover in the class. And then the science of everything. Like Cynthia's really going to break down the science, plant science, soil science. When we say environmental science, that's the science of bugs, insects, and how the bugs and insects interact with your plants, the birds, and how they interact with your plants. You know what I'm saying? The other animals that surround your garden, maybe, and how they interact with your plants. So, it's important to understand all those things. But like, this is all the stuff that's going to be in the Grow Your Own Academy. So I just want you guys to understand how full this is going to be. Not just that. And we got the section where we're going to be breaking down lessons on getting in the kitchen with this. So it's a whole seed to table experience.
Yes.
We got a recipe book that people in our class in the academy, they're going to get the recipe book, and then we're going to be adding new recipes. Like every month we're going to be adding new recipes to the recipe book. We're going to have classes in the kitchen that we actually show in real time how we chopping it up and basically preparing food in the healthiest way, right from the garden, right from where we grown it. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be it's important, because I think that once you I think it's the final step of appreciation of what you're growing is when you get in the food and prepare it and then eat it.
Absolutely. Nah, that those are the questions I usually get at the farmers market is, well, how do you cook your collard greens? Or what should I do with this zucchini? Because people will be excited to get things, but not sure what to do with them. Or like Micaiah said, the healthiest way to prepare the food, because you may have learned how to cook collard greens, but you realize maybe, the way your grandma cooked them wasn't the healthiest, but there's still a healthy way to do it. So that's what we're going to not just, give you recipes, but really show you with some of these classes that we're going to bring in the kitchen, how to prepare it, some techniques that you'll be able to use for different types of vegetables and fruits as well, and herbs. So all of the different things that you can grow, and again, how to prepare them and how to preserve them, because that's really important. When you get when it's time to harvest, sometimes you get all of it at once, and you're like, what do I do with all this okra? Yeah, you can make some recipes, but you can also preserve it by pickling it, which Micaiah did, and we're going to introduce that new product. But yeah, so there's a lot of lessons that we're prepared to share with you guys throughout this whole journey of growing food. Like Micaiah said, it's not just the growing, but what happens after, and that there's just so many things to share.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that we do at Free Haven Farms. Like she said, we're gonna break down different ways that we could preserve this stuff. There's gonna be exclusive things that we release that's just gonna be for the people in the academy, and I think that the first, I think it was 15 people that signed up. We had some special packages that we are gonna mail out to you when we release this, which is gonna be
October.
October is when we're gonna
Mhm.
start the classes, and you'll be able to sign up sooner than that though.
Yes.
When you think will probably be they'll be able to sign up?
Maybe a couple days before, like within the week, we'll start to release it.
Okay. All right, cool. And we're definitely going to be going over pharmacology. So there's sections in this book that I wrote that require deeper conversation than just what's written here. And so yeah, I've had times that I've been able to read sections of this book and kind of get into it on live and on IG, and there's a lot of lessons from growing food that apply to every other aspect of our life that we're trying to grow. You know what I'm saying? Whether we're trying to grow our income and our money, trying to grow our relationships, trying to grow our health. So we got a section that we're gonna have on here, and then we're gonna also get into other books that we feel are beneficial, good reads pertaining to growing food. Um, man, we got so much to share. Right now, I think Cynthia is teaching within at one. What do your classes are on? What? Yeah, it's on environmental studies or
Yeah, so I have one class on environmental, what's called environmental change. So it's really
that's what it
about
is.
it's in environmental science, but just about how our environment is changing. And I'm also teaching a new class that's about it's called food systems, agribusiness, and big food. So it's about the um, kind of the industrialization of our food system, and it's really getting into it. Again, if you saw the post on Instagram, starting a new program at Rowan University in New Jersey on regenerative food systems. So this is the first class of many. We'll get into actual growing of food, but we're just kind of starting out with some background information, and why we even getting interested in regenerative agriculture is to kind of counter what happened with our food system, which is to like make it, only a couple of major farms are preparing, are growing most of our food. So that's the background.
So a lot of these lessons, classes that she's teaching, we're gonna bring you this information to the academy.
Yes.
So it's an academy again, university level syllabus. We're really preparing some things. We're recording lessons at the farm. We're gonna have some pre-recorded stuff, and then of course we're gonna meet. We're looking to do at least 3 meetups a year at the farm and at other locations for the members in the academy.
Yes.
So like I said, we have some exclusive things that's going to be for the academy members. We are going to travel and do house consultations. So if you are in the academy, you're going to be some of the few people that can access us for home consultations. But yeah, man, we're really excited about this. We're excited about building community, you know what I'm saying, and being able to build with like-minded individuals that really see the same thing important that we see important, which is growing food, connecting to nature, and just achieving optimal health in every way, physical, mental, you know what I'm saying, emotional, spiritual health that really comes with connecting to the land and growing our own. You know what I mean,
Absolutely.
any closing comments?
Just thank you guys for your time, for your attention, for your enthusiasm, for your comments. Shout out to Brother Colin
See you,
from
Colin Rock.
Capoeira. Yes. And yeah, just, showing up. And we're really looking forward to continuing to build with you guys. Again, we have folks that we've been, having classes with, building with for many years. So it's just good to, continue to grow this collective. And we're spread out all over. So I saw people on here from, that I saw Tennessee, I think, and somewhere else down south, and so yeah, we're gonna be from all over, but it's gonna be really beautiful to build this community, be able to get together. I'm excited about the meetups.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's just a lot to come.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
Mississippi, peace.
Definitely. No, we gonna be on the road. This is something we've been building for a minute, and we've been waiting to get to this point that we can kind of launch this. And we knew it was gonna be good from the Grow Your Own Club, just in terms of its impact. And now I think that we have certain things in place, and we're ready to take it to another level. It's gonna have even more impact. And yeah, we're trying to grow growers. So I think you guys are in the right place because y'all want to grow. So we're gonna make a good team.
Yes. All right. Well, yeah, it has been absolutely wonderful. Again, this was a preview, so much more to come. We look forward to building with y'all. Stay tuned.
We're gonna be doing more lives.
Right. Let's say you'll see more from us on YouTube.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing more lives leading up to the launch of the Grow Your Own Academy. Just impromptu live sessions. Of course, we'll post it. Make sure you join our email list on our website. There's a place for you to join our email list. If you're on our Instagram, there's a button. If you go to the link tree, click the link in the bio. There's a button to join our email list. Make sure you do that so that we can send you updates of everything we got going on at the farm. The release of our products, you know what I'm saying? Like our hot sauce that just released. And we're gonna ship out to folks very soon. And new products that ain't even released. It's about to be up there though this week. Like our pickled okra treats, and merch and all that other stuff. But like I said, we do a lot for a lot of people, but we're really gonna cater to those that join this academy because we appreciate those that appreciate us. I'm saying, and y'all turned out tonight, and we appreciate that. The most valuable thing is time. You can't get time back. You know what I'm saying? You shared your time with us, so give thanks. And we'll see you soon.
Yes. Y'all have a great night. And yeah, we'll see y'all in class at the academy hopefully soon.
Yep. We'll post this. You guys can see the recording if you missed any parts of it. And like I said, we have some more coming up. Stay rooted.
Keep growing.
Bless.
Peace.